Time for Insight. A country divided over one man. These are some of the headlines in Wednesday's morning newspapers in New York City. They announced the news that billionaire businessman Donald Trump had extended his lead in his quest to become the Republican nominee for president of the United States. The top Republican will face off against the top Democrat in a national election in 8 months. Right now, the frontrunner on the Democratic side is former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The winner in the election in November will become the next U.S. president. Donald Trump has centered his campaign on several issues. They include the fight against immigration from places like Mexico, and he has frequently targeted China with tough rhetoric. Here's an example.
We're being killed on trade, absolutely destroyed. China is just taking advantage of us. I have nothing against China. The power is straight. We've rebuilt them. They are taking so much money out of our country.
We will start, before I'm finished, I guarantee you, that we will have Apple products made in the United States, not in China.
China says they don't have that good a control over North Korea. They have tremendous control. He goes, I'm not a good talker. I don't speak well. I don't debate well. I don't do anything well. But you should vote for me. That's Jeb Bush. Why would you say these things? This is what's going to negotiate with China?
And all of a sudden you'll come up, it won't happen if I'm president, by the way, all of a sudden you'll come up and say, you know, Boeing wants to move all of their production to China, and they're going to be closing up, and this is the way it works, folks.
So given Trump's tough language against China, how will it affect relations between the two countries? CCTV's Shraysi Tandon has been looking into that and has insight.
When Donald Trump talks tough on China, crowds roar at political rallies across the country. Republicans on the American right are known for attacking China. But even among Republicans, Trump's rhetoric sounds extreme.
We have a lot of power over China. We just don't know it. What they've done, and I say it, it's the greatest robbery in the history of the world, what they've done. We've rebuilt China.
When U.S. President Barack Obama hosted China's President Xi Jinping last year, instead of a state dinner, Trump suggested Obama take President Xi to McDonald's. Trump has accused China of stealing jobs from Americans and has proposed a 45% tariff on Chinese exports to the U.S.
It's popular in the U.S. in every 4 years when we have our presidential primaries and election to engage in some China bashing. So this isn't unprecedented.
Trump rivals like Marco Rubio have criticized the alleged theft of U.S. intellectual property by Chinese firms. Ted Cruz has pledged to bring American jobs back from China. Such pandering can be a risky game, especially if the target is America's largest trading partner. But the latest trading figures suggest China isn't going to let Trump's insults get in the way of business.
I don't think there would be more negatively effect to the Chinese investment to the United States market because of the huge amount of the bilateral trade now which has exceeded 500 billion US dollars.
Research firm Rhodium Group says if investment from China remains on track, Chinese firms will employ between 200,000 and 400,000 Americans by 2020.
No matter who will win the general election, he or she will maybe regard the economic relations between the two countries the priority.
Many analysts seem to agree that Trump's anti-China rhetoric will not affect trade and investment relations between the two countries. But some are afraid that it could impact the way Americans view China.
He's willing to say anything to get attention, and he's a kind of a nationalist fearmonger. So I think this man can do a lot of mischief, even if he loses the election, by affecting the American image of China.
On the other hand, Cohen says Trump's position on other issues could actually improve relations with China.
If Trump should become president, he might ease up on one of the most important issues confronting U.S.-China relations, human rights. Trump also apparently has made statements against Japan and South Korea, indicating the U.S. should reduce its involvement with those countries. I think that would be a tragic mistake, but that too would ease relations with China. So when you look at Trump only through the lens of, is he going to be good for U.S.-China relations? He might turn out to be good for bad reasons.
Criticizing China may win applause from conservative crowds. The question is whether this tactic can win a U.S. presidency. Shraysi, Tandon, CCTV, New York.